Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, Rakakadash. Double honors the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who are teaching the truth and sincerity. And shout out to Yakims out there in four corners of the earth to proclaim his truth. Raka the Yahweh, Raka the Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, Rakakadash, Rakatam. So, major headlines happening. You got earthquake just not too long after the one in Venezuela, and yet you see where Colombia is. It's right next to Venezuela. And they recently overthrew the government of Colombia, but a peaceful overthrow, right? You know, they got rid of the other guy that spoke against Israeli state, you could say, you know. And they got in new governments, right? A puppet government in both Colombia and Venezuela after the overthrow. But they still use direct energy weapons, because that's what this looks like to me. 7.4 mega quake rocks Colombia. Widespread damage reported. Little more than 6 weeks after twin earthquakes devastated neighboring Venezuela, killing thousands, a magnitude 7.4 earthquake struck western Colombia on Monday morning, damaging buildings and injuring people near the epicenter in Chocó province. Bloomberg reported that the quake was recorded at 07:34 local time near San Jose. Governor Corona reported major structural damage in the provincial capital of Cuenca. So, you know, get more on this, and we got some other headlines as well. A whole city's on lockdown as well. You know, if you hadn't heard, yeah, there was a whole city lockdown, and we got a new moon coming up. But nonetheless, though, yeah, from this guy here who does a lot in news headlines. U.S. city shut down. FBI investigation, new attack, state of emergency, and they're claiming some sort of cyber attack. So you're going to be seeing a lot more of these false flags to blame political enemies. So, AKA EMPs, you know, etc., to blame political enemies as this goes into.
Developing news coming out that one city in California is currently in a state of emergency as the FBI is investigating an entire city shutdown. We're hearing, they're even saying right now, you don't have to pay your bills in the city because right now nothing is operating. 911 cannot be reached. Systems have been shut down. The city is in a state of emergency. And like I said, FBI, DHS, CISA are investigating yet another cyber attack that has taken place on U.S. soil. Now this comes as we're also hearing about more cyber attacks littering the United States. We're hearing that ports are being hit in addition to what we've been hearing about water systems. And again, we do not have the identity of who is behind these, but there's a lot of speculation that this is Iran. Let me know your thoughts, and let's go ahead and take a look at the latest headlines so that you can see it for yourself. Coming out in the last 24 hours, chaos in Suisun City declares state of emergency after hackers cripple 911 systems.
I used to live in Vacaville, so there you go.
After cyber attacks. The North Bay City says a malicious software infected its systems on Friday morning, impacting public safety and other city services as well. Now, as I mentioned, this comes as, take a look in the last 48 hours, we've also been hearing North Carolina ports. They have confirmed cyber attacks are disrupting their operations. We're seeing a variety of cyber attacks hitting across the United States, and this comes as I've been sharing with you the updates on U.S. water systems in 12 states targeted in a wave of cyber attacks. And again, not full confirmation yet on who is behind these attacks, but Iran likely behind the cyber attacks on the U.S. water systems. Sources say malicious cyber actors have attacked municipal water systems in at least 7 states. It has now gone up to 12. We've received confirmation on some of these states, and those include Minnesota, Michigan, Wisconsin, South Dakota, Georgia, California, New Jersey, Oregon. These are just some of the states that have come out and announced, yes, we are the ones that have been hit. And also, we've heard warnings directly from the IRGC regarding our power grids in the United States. They've warned Donald Trump that if you conduct a massive attack against the energy in Iran, we will hit not only U.S. military bases in the region, but we'll also come after the homeland. And I also shared with you in the last roughly 48, 72 hours, we also heard from Iran in an announcement Friday. They had said that they're also planning to develop missiles that can reach all the way across the world and hit U.S. soil. They said that this is something that they would like to do because it's time for Americans to feel what it's like to be hit with missiles on U.S. soil. Wow. So I'm going to get you caught up on the latest, and as you guys know here on the channel, I cite all the sources. So if you'd like to read any of these articles for yourself on the attacks, on security. The number of them is 200,000. That's the horseman spoken of in Revelation chapter 9. But that's not the only headline, right? But that's one of them. You know, so you're hearing about more cyber attacks, right? And Iran being the main boogeyman behind it. And we got a new moon coming up, so this will be the new Sabbath. Most of the time I have to look it up on the internet, but this time I caught it from another brother who goes into it that puts these up. So here we go. Here's the earthquake that rocked Colombia. Dabu 7's footage.
We have a monster 7.4 earthquake striking in Colombia. We've also seen aftershocks. This was initially a 6.6, upgraded to a 7.4 magnitude. You can see this disaster has people trapped under the rubble, people running all over the place just trying to make sense of what just happened. You can see the people trying to dig out what they believe is people trapped underneath the rubble here. A heartbreaking scene. This was felt all the way into Venezuela. This earthquake struck on the coast on the Chaco province at roughly 7:34 a.m. local time this morning. According to the services, the quake struck at a depth of 79 kilometers, and the epicenter was near San Jose del Palmar. Shortly after the initial tremor, they started to upgrade. They said initially this was a 6.6, and then it's risen all the way up to a 7.4, and that's where it sits right now, with aftershocks hitting in the area as well. It looks like the 4.6 aftershock was upgraded also. So this could see more earthquake activity down here. Let's hope that the worst of it is out of the way. Prayers going out to everyone in Colombia, knowing that they're still
So
trying to
here
find
you
people in
go, the
Venezuela
devil
as
coming
well.
down having great
Horrific
wrath.
Earthquake situation here down in Colombia. I will leave a link. Join me for the live shows Monday, Wednesday, and Friday as an update to this and a whole lot more. Hope to see you there.
And so here we are. Possibility of Trump using nukes, tactical nukes, against Iran. Like what the Israeli state did when they hit Yemen. You know. Because make no mistake about it. A tactical nuke was used against Yemen years ago. In the Saudi war. Well, you know, Yemen, the Houthis, are at war with Saudi Arabia. So we are going to start seeing tactical nukes being used until we get to the big ones. Pentagon drafting new nuclear strategy to expand options for tactical nuclear weapons use. The Pentagon is drafting a new nuclear strategy that's expected to emphasize the use of tactical nuclear weapons to give the president more options of potential nuclear conflict. And you already know what that this place itself, Babylon the Great, becomes a lake of fire because so many of these are going to be fired against Babylon. And you already heard Iran, saying that they want ICBMs that could actually reach the U.S. so they can feel what it's like to be hit with long-range missiles. Hey, they've had it coming for a long time. The idea would be to shift the U.S. nuclear strategy away from the focus on using strategic nuclear weapons to wipe out an adversary's nuclear capabilities and focus more on the possibility of using smaller tactical nuclear weapons in a regional conflict. The third woe cometh quickly. Pentagon pushes arms makers to boost output as Iran war drains stocks. Well, you already know. They won't admit to it, but yeah, they're out of ammo. I mean, well, generals and certain people that have been fired, and then people have been threatened to be arrested for leaking the information, though Trump denies it, trying to save face. Department of War has given defense contractors until late August to propose significantly faster delivery schedules, according to a memo seen by U.S. media. The memo, written by Deputy Secretary of War and reportedly sent earlier this week, gives manufacturers 21 days to propose significantly faster and more aggressive delivery schedules, expanded production capacity, or both. So, pretty much so that you're going to try to speed production up. Most likely speed things up for the elect's sake, right? Because got a couple more months of summer and you're going to see a ground invasion into Iran. They already got the draft that's going to happen in just a couple more weeks. So how much more? Revolutionary Guards say Iran's missiles can change course during flight to evade air defenses. And that's just it. That's why they're hard to hit. The IRGC said on Monday some Iranian missiles can now be guided and changed during course flight, allowing them to evade air defense systems. Iranian missiles are no longer like they were in the past, merely launched from one point to land at another. IRGC spokesman saying at an event in the northern city of Kavan, they now possess guidance and course changing capabilities, and some can alter their trajectory during fight to bypass the enemy's air defense systems, he said. So in other words, they're going to be hitting more and more precise. Give them an edge. Talks between Iran and Oman on the reopening of Hormuz are reportedly inching ahead as Iran continues to give the U.S. silent treatment. Negotiators said that a deal to establish a safe shipping route was close, but Iran may now be exploring just as much how it can extract for the U.S. in return. In other words, this memorandum of understanding that they were promised, before they can do anything, they have to meet the agreements of that first. And they already said they could wait out 2 weeks if you hadn't caught the previous video. Iran says its people are professional chess players in dealing with the U.S. Yeah, they do know how to move their chess pieces around. It came after Trump described negotiating as a chess game and said he was now low-keying it with Tehran. Tehran described Iranians as professional chess players in dealing with D.C., as it insisted that D.C. must meet its demands for the reopening of the Strait. U.S. President Trump on Sunday indicated that he was prepared to let economic pressure mount against Iran. That's not working. Oh yeah, they want to make a deal. Same shit but on a different day. It's Groundhog Day. Tehran doubles down on Hormuz demands as hardline IRGC commander promoted to national security chief. The Supreme National Security Center will not retreat from demands, whether in war or in negotiations. The head of Iran's Supreme National Security Council said, in effect doubling down according to Iran's Mehr news agency. We are only semi-negotiating with them. We are just watching Iran with its huge inflation and the fact they have no money, Trump tells reporter Barak Ravid in comments. We analyzed earlier, signaling return to economic warfare. But it's not working. Because again, they've been bypassing the dollar for some time. Why the Mecca agreement is a necessary show of force. American weakness has prompted the reshaping of the West Asia order, with the three biggest regional powers choosing to break the cycle of colonial domination by the Israeli state. So the Israeli state ain't even in the negotiations. These are three countries that have met: Pakistan and Saudi Arabia and Turkey. It will be 3 years in October since the Israeli state started its genocidal war against Gaza. A war crime has repeated in the occupied West Bank, South Lebanon, and Iran. Not to mention Syria and all the other places that they've invaded. And they've invaded a lot. This line was frequently heard in Ankara, which continued despite a trade embargo. Turkey did stop an Israeli and U.S. armed ground incursion of Iran by Iranian Kurdish militias. And Saudi Arabia honorably refused to normalize with the Israeli state, absent a credible path to a Palestinian state. Yeah, because Trump was going to give them missiles, but then he decides, well, you gotta, deal with Israel first, recognize Israel. It has a special name, but nonetheless, though, it was a Jones Act? No, not the Jones Act. But one of those special acts, basically. And Saudi Arabia said no. But for much of these years, the Israeli Prime Minister has had a free hand to reshape the region by invading a large part of southern Syria and attempted to construct a new high-tech security order by which over 7 million Israelis would dominate 450 million Arabs. So, like everything else though, they got a formidable pack. Houthis unleash missile barrage against Saudi-backed troops. Iran-backed, they're allies, but Iran, I can guarantee you, hasn't sent soldiers there of their own. But nonetheless, Houthis launched ballistic missiles and drones against Saudi-backed government forces in the Yemeni port of Mocha on Sunday, describing the attack as a tit-for-tat response to the kingdom's aggression. Fighting civil war-torn Yemen intensified last week, prompting fears of further disruptions to global energy supplies in the wake of the closure of the strait due to the U.S. war against Iran. And like everything else, though, all Saudi Arabia has is its oil. That's getting blown up. Syria's ancient sites ravaged by wartime looting on utterly massive scale. Well, ISIS, who's now the government of Syria, they ain't going to do anything about it. They made a lot of money off of that. Leader of a new study tells the New Arab that Syria's heritage sites were looted on an utterly massive scale during the war. Yeah, you can believe that this new leader was behind it. Okay, that's not currently going on, but Palmyra and all them places that have been looted, The scars of Sears were etched not only in its cities and towns, but into archaeological sites that have survived for thousands of years. Decade-long study of satellite imagery has revealed devastating destruction across some of the country's most important ancient sites, with evidence of looting found at nearly two-thirds of those aimed in areas that came under the control of Turkish forces and allied armed groups after 2016. Like everything else though, Mossad was behind this, and they sold a lot of this stuff on the black market, and you can best believe, Al-Jilani was behind a lot of that. That's why, he doesn't really do much about anything, because he wants a pact with Israeli state. I got a couple scripture here before I close this out. And of course, General Yohana said some shocking things over the weekend, so we can get into that. Just give me a second to get some scriptures before I close this out. So that leads me to this passage here, because we're seeing both at the same time, right? I mean, we've been seeing this for quite a while, but in particularly today's headlines, plus General Yohana over the weekend. Yeah, okay. Well, coming out of the camp of General Yohana, I should say IRGC, ISUPK, I should say. IRGC, that's something else. Matthew chapter 24, verse 4, and Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no one deceives you, for many will come in my name, saying, I am the anointed, and will deceive many. Yeah, General Yohana is famous for saying there is no other but General Yohana, right? To only take lessons from General Yohana. So, this is Matthew chapter 24 in the New King James. And you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you are not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. That's divisions, that's mutinies, that's uprisings, civil unrest. And there will be famines, pestilences, earthquakes in various places. Think about that, though. Earthquake struck Colombia and Venezuela not too far from each other. Whether it ends up being a direct energy weapon, all that, but it's still the signs that Yahushua spoke of. All these are the beginning of sorrows, and they shall deliver you up to tribulation and kill you. And you shall be hated by all nations for my name's sake. Is that JC? Is that Yahuwah, Yahusha, or Yahweh? No. It's for having the names Yahweh, Yahushai. Then many will be offended, and will betray one another, and will hate one another. And we're in those times now. Many are turning against each other. Then many false prophets will rise up and deceive many. Because lawlessness will abound, the love of many will grow cold. So, people that you thought were your friends are really your enemy. So, that's what Yahushua left us with. So, pretty much though, and you can watch Apostle Romlob's breakdown on this too. GMS Info Doc channel, I believe either it's 11, 12, or 13. Either way, Apostle Romlob, he did a breakdown on this as well. But I'm just going to go ahead and play this in its entirety before I close this out. Then I will say Bracha the Yahweh, Bracha the Yahweh Shai, Hashem Rakakadash, Wal Abal Babal. Brakatam, Jehovah Elect, Shalom.
I'm nervous about getting a vaccine, even though General Yohana told us to get the shot. Should I take the COVID-19 vaccine? Okay, let me tell you, when it talks about the COVID-19 vaccine, or any vaccines, you should consult your physician. That's what you should do. And that's what Commanding General Yohana said to do. Commanding General Yohana didn't tell people to go out and get a vaccine. That's not what he done. I don't know why people say that. People make it seem like Commanding General Yohana told us to get the shot. He didn't tell us to get anything. He said what he's always said. Seek a physician.
I didn't take the vaccine for no other reason than to stop y'all from being free. They sell you with GMO, they sell you with soy, they sell you with... I didn't take the vaccine for no other reason than to stop y'all from being free. They sell you with GMO, they sell you with soy, they sell you with... I didn't take the vaccine for no other reason than to stop y'all from being free. They sell you with GMO, they sell you with soy, they sell you with...
And let's be real. I want to be real about something with these vaccines, since the whole vaccine jumped off today, right? So I want to be real about it. First of all, everybody should take the vaccine, okay? Stop that bullshit about the vaccine. Right. Now on the flip side, I understand why black people don't want to take the vaccine. Black people don't want to take the goddamn vaccine because they don't trust your white ass. That's what it really comes down to. Black people do not trust what white people can put in that goddamn vaccine because they don't watch white people destroy them over and over and over and over again. And if we ain't learned nothing from Nazi Germany, we learned that them Germans, they knew how to kill you right through their medical system. They was killing every injured, maimed, or paraplegic in the entire country. Was doping them up, killing them, doing all kinds of shit to them. So I understand how black people think, but take the goddamn vaccine shot. Stop listening to the conspiracy theorists out here telling you not to take the vaccine and all that. Man, listen, let them run through them trials, finish what they got to do, and when the vaccine come around, don't even sweat that bullshit, man. You understand? The vaccine ain't worse than the crack era was. If you lived through the crack era, then all right then you know the vaccine ain't worse, okay? You lived through the heroin era of the 60s and 70s when niggas was looking like creatures from outer space, blown up hands and feet, hands 10 times the size that they are, then you ain't got nothing to worry about because you know that it ain't worse than that. Like if you take the vaccine and you blow up like a heroin addict, then I say, hold up, man, you better check that, okay? But them heroin addicts, brother, that dope going in them heroin addicts, brother, is destroying and wiping them out. That Oxycontin is 10 times worse than that damn vaccine, man. That goddamn Oxycontin got whole cities went underground, got wiped out over that Oxycontin. That Oxycontin had motherfuckers laid out all over. They had to give the police what's the name? Is it an EpiPen? What's the name of that pen? That shit they shoot in you, that adrenaline when you overdose. What's the name of that?
Narcan.
Narcan, that's the shit. Now imagine the dope dealer who worked for Esau. He's sending you the dope, the Oxycontin and the heroin. You pass the hell out for damn near dead. The ambulance show up, the cops show up. Sometimes the cops get there before the ambulance. They give the cops a needle to stick down through your goddamn chest into your heart and pump another piece of dope in you to bring you back from the dead. And you telling me to worry about a goddamn vaccine, man? Please, man. You know what I mean? Stop getting caught up in the conspiracy of them damn vaccines, man. You gonna spread the damn corona to everybody. Then, yeah, don't take the vaccine and watch everybody drop dead. You understand?
Right. Commander Junior Hunter didn't tell people to go out and get a vaccine. It's not what he done. I don't know why people say that. People make it seem like Commander Junior Hunter told us to get the shot. He didn't tell us to get anything. He said what he's always said: seek a physician.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God, stop fucking lying. Always lying to me. You're lying so much. You're making it hard for me.
Leave it to the hand of the Lord to reveal if this bastard is doing something. Believe you me, he said I would do nothing but I reveal my secrets onto the prophets, man. You can best believe if real intel was out there about them vaccines, the Lord would give it to the ISUPK. And you know I love the conspiracy. If I'd have jumped out here and told you already, man, get the hell away from them damn vaccines. Man, go on and get that vaccine, man. Get cleared up, man, so we can get on out here, man, have a good Passover. I'm going to get out here this summer. I'm going to hit the beach. I'm doing 2021. Oh, I'm doing it all 2021.
And so that's what the mRNA vaccine, it's not really a vaccine, it's an operating system that takes over the machinery of the cells of your body so that your body starts to produce the same viral proteins that made you sick in the first place. So by the time that you get your fourth vaccine, you see the vaccine they're giving out now causes the body to produce the S protein, the spike protein. So that's why people test positive for HIV. The next vaccine, the second shot, that's going to give you the M protein. And then the third shot is the N protein. And then I think there's another one, there's a P protein. And so by the time you get your fourth shot, you see, your body will be making all four proteins that make up the COVID-19 virus. So you will literally become a viral making factory. Now, if you think about that, if every cell in your body is a disease-producing cell, that would be the epitome of autoimmune diseases, where your immune system would literally be attacking every single cell in your body. So if you could just imagine the horror that would produce. Well, you don't have to imagine it. Just look at your zombie movies.
Oh my God.
And then if you think that's science fiction, you think that's way out, now he's on way out. No, okay. Go to your computer right now, to the CDC website, and type in zombie. You think I'm making it up, you think I'm crazy. Then you explain to me why the CDC has an emergency program for the coming zombie apocalypse.
Oh my God.
On January the 4th, on Tuesday, I had mild flu-like symptoms. I went to work. Stomach pains and diarrhea, on Tuesday, normal flu-like symptoms. Wednesday, I wasn't feeling good. I wasn't able to go to work. My tongue began to spasm out of control. By Thursday morning, I was in full body convulsions.
Oh my God!
And then they have a whole program of what they're going to do to handle the millions of zombies that are going to suddenly descend on America. Well, where are you going to get all these zombies from? Hey, it's called the mRNA vaccine. It's not really a vaccine. What is it? It's a weapon of mass destruction for population control. It's going to drive you mad. So the Bible says, fear not the one who can kill the body. Fear the one who can kill the soul. So that's what you're dealing with here.
The Moderna vaccines sound concerning. We looked. After the second dose, at least 80% of participants experienced a systemic side effect. So, are these vaccines safe?
Well, the FDA, not being pressured, will look hard at that. The FDA is the gold standard of regulators, and their current guidance on this, if they stick with that, is very, very appropriate.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I have to tell y'all about Dr. Peter Fauci in this book right here. If you want to get in, want to learn more, text HOES to 219-299-49. And don't argue with me. Argue with Tom about these facts. Get in.